Should be ready in just a second here. We're 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Gives you some time to go invite one of your friends. We'll be live on Facebook in the SWT World Team Room. We are live right now, and we're ready to go. Let's see who's with me. Hey, Ian, Katie, Michael. Welcome to the call. I haven't seen you for a while, Michael. All right. All right, Katie. Well, it's just about the top of the hour. Welcome to the call. Welcome to the call, everybody. For those of you that joined us on Facebook, thanks for being with us tonight. We're going to talk about some important things today. We're going to talk about stress. You know, holidays can be stressful for people. So let's get this thing rolling. Katie, I know you were going to put some slides together. You know, most everything that I do when I'm talking about this topic is just up here in my head. So I don't know what slides you have, but we can use them.
Okay, be with you in 2 ticks.
What's that?
I'll be with you in 2 ticks.
2 ticks. I've never heard that before. 2 ticks. Is that like TikTok? Two-second? Huh. Oh, you know, folks, what a great holiday season we're having. You know, I got my youngest boy is flying back home tomorrow. He just got engaged, so I'm excited about that. My middle boy, he's not going to make it home. Of course, we kind of knew that when he started his residency. He's down at medical school down in New Orleans, so he's not going to make it home for Christmas this year. So I'll have to fly down there sometime this winter and see him. My oldest boy, of course, lives here in town. I'm on the south side of Fargo. He's up on the north side, and we'll go down and celebrate with my family, with my mom and dad and my brothers and sister. And well, I guess my youngest brother's not going to make it this year either. It was the year that he celebrates Christmas with his other side of his family. So hopefully you're all getting together with family and having some exciting times and, you know, reminisce, you know, enjoy that time with your family. Cause boy, I tell you what, we found out as we age that you're not going to be with your family, you know, the rest of your life. And you know, who knows? We lost my older brother early. So, yeah. Hey, Katie, welcome to the call. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, this is
Happy
our last
holiday season.
Happy holidays to you. Yeah, I like to say Merry Christmas because, boy, I tell you what, that's the reason for the season.
It is. And
Yeah.
welcome to everyone on the call. Thanks for jumping on today. If you've taken the time out of your day or if you're watching the recording, we appreciate you tuning in.
You betcha.
So, we're about to wind up for the year of 2022. And today is our last training session for this year. So
last call.
Yeah. And I was listening to what you were saying about family. It's so true, Kurt. You know, we need to always remind ourselves to appreciate every moment that we have. And nothing in life is permanent. It's always changing. And yeah, so it's really important to, I think, have that gratitude and be present in the moment.
Yeah, you know, and so think about that as we move forward with the rest of the year, the last 2 weeks of the year. Hard to believe 2022, we've got 2 weeks left and we're done.
Yeah, amazing.
You know, and hopefully, you know, everything that we've done in 2022 will inspire us to move into 2023 and make it make it a great year. Make it a great year. You know, there's been a lot of stress over the course of the last 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Lot of stress. 2019, you know, it kind of started. Then you had 2020. That it just like they dropped the bomb on us, you know, and then 2021, you know, kind of a recovery, you know, and this year just readjusting to the kind of the new world that we're in.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the topic for today's talk, is we wanted to talk about managing stress and learning how to relax. And so we thought that's a really important topic. And then we can talk about how that relates to nutrition. But I've got a couple of slides here, Dr. Kurt.
Let me before you bring up the slides, let me kind of introduce you to the topic, because I think that it's really important. I know you want to talk about products. You're really product-y and you want to get right into that topic.
No, actually, I was going to start kicking off by talking about, you know, learning to relax, what things cause us stress, things like that. But I'll let you do that.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of people, when we start talking about stress, the first thing they think about is oh, you know, I'm stressed out here in North Dakota. We just got dumped on. We got 30 inches of snow. That's the normal amount of snow in an average year. And we got it in 2 days. Right. So I think we're going to have a bad winter. That can stress some people out. Some people have to drive long distances for the holidays to celebrate with their family. That can stress some people out. Some people, like my son, he can't make it home. That can stress people out. And there's a whole lot of other factors like that we think of. Your job can add stress. Your lack of money can add stress. All those things can add stress. But Katie, there's 2 other causes of stress besides emotional stress. Do you know what they are?
Yeah, physical
stress. You bet. Like you've suffered from some back pain over the course of the time.
Yeah, that's been definitely the greatest stress in my life. Are you cutting out a little bit there? Hopefully you'll come back in. There you are.
Yep.
Yeah, back pain, you know, ripping muscles, ripping tendons.
Yep. Injuries, old injuries. Yeah. So that physical stress can cause. So you got emotional stress, you got physical stress, and you and I talked about the third one yesterday.
Yeah, toxins. So environmental or, you know, chemical. Yeah.
You bet. So the part of your brain, the hypothalamus, that's the part of your brain. Think of it like the CPU for your computer. Everything runs through that CPU. Everything runs through that hypothalamus. All those wires, all those nerves, they all run through that hypothalamus, right?
Yeah.
And what happens is that when these wires run through there, and you've got emotional stress, and you've got physical stress, and you've got chemical stress, the hypothalamus, when it deciphers the signal, it doesn't know what caused the stress. You might be thinking that, oh, it's my back pain. Somebody else might be thinking, oh man, you know, it's the holidays, I'm stressed out. And other people, they might be working in a factory where they just got exposed to mercury, right?
Right.
And they might think that's what's causing the problem. But really, your body is designed to handle a certain amount of stress. And so you can have chemical stress, physical stress, emotional stress, all coming in at the same time. And your body's designed to handle it. But what ends up happening is that when one of those 3 gets too high, it overloads the system. And think of it like blowing a fuse.
Yeah.
And so while you're sitting there thinking, oh, it's my back pain, and somebody else is thinking, oh, it's, you know, the holiday stress, and somebody else is, you know, the chemicals they were exposed to or whatever. It's actually probably a combination of all 3, because if the other 2 areas of your life were under control, your body could probably handle the back pain.
Yeah.
It could probably deal with it, and it could probably fix it. So stress is one of the most common causes of chronic health problems. And that's why I really wanted to end out the year talking about it. And so then the next thing that I want to talk about before we move into, you know, some of the other things I know you wanted to bring up is there's 7 major symptoms of stress. There's 7 things. It's like that oil light on your car, right?
Yeah.
It tells you, it doesn't tell you that you're low on oil. It might be telling you your oil pump is bad. It might be telling you that that your oil's, you know, messed up in some way or whatever. but that oil light, now there's, it tells you other things to the computers, but in the old cars, it had a red light. And
Yeah.
so that red light, that's the symptoms that you get. You might have another light that says, oh, your battery's going dead. You might have another light that says you forgot to, turn your turn signal off, and all these different things. But in your body, you have those same kind of warning signs, and we're going to call them the 7 major symptoms of stress. And Katie, do you know what those are?
I can take a guess at some of them. Well, obviously, I'll take a guess. So here we go. So sleep, not sleeping properly.
That's one of them. It's in the top. That's in the top 4. Yep.
Yep. The next one could be constipation or not going to the toilet properly, like either, going too much or not enough.
Digestive problems. Yep. That's in the top 4.
Yep. Excessive anxiety. That is another stress.
Emotional type stuff, depression, anxiety. You bet.
Yep.
You're doing good. You're doing good, Katie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you an A. You get a star.
Yeah.
Headache.
Headaches. Yeah, headaches because you're not drinking enough water. So apparently, like the first symptom of not having enough water is a headache comes on.
Yep.
So
but emotional stress can cause headaches too.
Yep, that's right.
And a fall on the ice can cause a headache. So physical stress, emotional stress, chemical stress, lack of water would be a chemical stressor. Okay.
Yeah.
Chronic pain.
Yeah. Chronic pain is a stress. Yeah.
Yeah. And you said sleeping problem. What about fatigue?
Yep. Fatigue.
Lack of energy. Did you know that lack of energy fatigue is actually the most common symptom that gets people to go to the doctor?
Right. Fatigue. Wow.
That's the most common thing that gets people to go to the doctor is they have a lack of energy. And then of course, the last one is sinuses and allergy problems.
Right.
Sinus and allergy problem. You remember way back when you were in grade school, maybe it didn't affect you much, because you were super smart. You were kind of a brainiac. So, tests didn't bother you. But think about some of your friends where finals week would come and they would all get stressed out and they'd have, the flu, and they would have colds and runny noses during finals week. It's a phenomenon that we see that during finals week, people seem to have more symptoms of allergies and things like that.
Yeah. And especially, high school students finishing their studies or university students, trying to cram in studies to pass exams that can be, and then people go to the other one that's not been mentioned is substance abuse. So when you're feeling stressed, looking for some substance to boost you up. So for me in year 12, it was caffeine, which actually didn't agree with me at all. I started taking caffeine tablets during exam time. This is going back a long time ago.
Wow.
27 years. But
yep, we did the same thing up here in America.
Oh, taking caffeine. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's obviously anyone can purchase those, but then you've got other substance abuse. You've got, alcohol, cigarettes, other drugs, prescription medication, all sorts of things. So that's
an attempt that people have to try and make themselves feel more normal.
That's right.
They're trying to normalize those symptoms when really it might be something else. Maybe it's your back pain, and maybe it's my fall on the ice that I had 2 years ago. Remember 2 years ago, I fell and broke my back. And it was horrible, and 15 years ago, my motorcycle accident, I'm kind of accident prone.
Well, don't say that. You don't want to put that out in the universe.
I've said it 100 times.
You used to be.
Now I'm just extra careful. Now I'm just extra careful. I mean, like when I take a step on the ice now, I'm walking, I'm shuffling my feet like a little old man, and I'm careful.
For your back. So they're the main ones, aren't they? And so if you've got those going on in your life, then that's a flag for you to say, pay attention. Don't just go and knock that red light that's flashing off the dashboard and keep going, because that's what
you don't just cover it up, right? But that's what a lot of people do is they cover it up. They take their caffeine and they get rid of their fatigue because now they have energy from the caffeine, or they take a Tylenol or a acetaminophen to cover up the pain. They take a Sinufed type of a tablet to get rid of their sinus problem. They they take an antidepressant to get rid of their depression and things like that. But all they're doing is they're covering up the problem. They're not fixing the problem. And what happens is your body is smart enough that what it does is it says, hey, Katie, you're not listening to me. So it makes it worse. It adds another problem on top of your back pain. Boom. Then it adds another problem on top of your back pain, and it adds another problem on top of your back pain. And so I used to always talk about this when I'd go out and do talks on stress. I'd say, how many symptoms of stress is considered, I'm going to say within the normal limits. I'm not going to say normal, but
Okay.
within a tolerable range. How many of those 7 can you have before you should start going, hey, I got something wrong?
Probably no more than 1.
Yeah, two they say is allowable, right? 2 is
2.
allowable. But when you start having 3 of those 7 major symptoms of stress, they say that's when you want to start checking it out. But if
So,
you start,
okay, just run through them again. Just run through those 7, just to recap.
okay. So, but 3,
Yeah.
and just let me stay on this train
Yeah.
of thought. But you start surveying your friends. You take what we talked about tonight. All of you that are listening to this, survey your friends over the holidays when you get together with your family and friends. Ask them. Just say, do you feel stressed out? And most people are going to say yes. If they don't, they're lying to you, because it's a stressful world right now. And of those 7 major symptoms of stress, I'm going to bet that at least half of your friends suffer from 5.
Well, I know all my family does.
5, right?
Yeah.
And back in the old days, back when we were growing up, when we were kids, I remember that people used to be diagnosed with a nervous breakdown.
Oh, that's what they call it. If you had 3 or more symptoms.
5 or more, yeah. It was
5 or more.
because it was, your system was shutting down. It was a nervous breakdown. I remember we had a high school teacher. He was actually put in a mental institution because of stress. Yeah. And anyhow, but so 5, and that's when you should start. That's when you really got to get that under control at 5, because you're heading down the wrong road. But if you have more than 2, that's when you should start looking at. So the number 1 symptom of stress is headaches. 2 headaches a year is considered normal. If you have more than 2 headaches a year, there's something wrong with you. You're abnormal. You're abnormal, right? 2 headaches a year. The next symptom of stress is sleeping problems. The next one is digestive problems. The next one is chronic pain. Those are the top 4. Then, of course, we have the sinus and allergy type problems. We have the depression, and we have the lack of energy, and they're kind of mixed up in there. But that's the major symptoms of stress. 7 of them, 7 major symptoms.
Okay. And
Right.
so what would be your top, I guess, so we've talked about the main, I guess, symptoms. What is your top remedies or strategies, techniques that you use personally, that you found out of all your years of wisdom? And God knows you've been through traumatic stress, a lot of trauma, tremendous amount of stress is what I meant to say. And a lot of trauma from being, as you said, being in motorcycle accidents, breaking your back last year, all this kind of stuff, family illness stuff. So what are the key things that you use right now in your life? And we'll talk about supplements towards the end, but other than supplements, to help manage that stress?
Well, Katie, that's a good question. Thanks for asking. I mean, the main thing that you want to do is you have to think about it. Once you understand what's going on, what you want to do is you want to make your body so it's resilient. Make it so that when somebody throws the ball at you, it bounces off your chest. It's like you're the Chuck Norris of stress. You can handle whatever people throw at you. It's not going to affect you. I feel like that's where I'm at right now, especially after I broke my back. I mean, honestly, Katie, after I broke my back 2 years ago, I actually feel like I got stronger. It's weird. But my back pain got better. It's better than it's been in the last 40 years of my life.
So hang on a minute, you felt stronger after recovering from back pain?
Yeah, after I broke my back. And I was back.
What do you mean stronger? Mentally stronger or physically stronger?
I think both, because I've suffered from back pain all my adult life. That's why I went to chiropractic college, because I was trying to figure out what's wrong with me. And And so I suffered from back pain. Nobody could ever fix it. And when I fell and broke my back, honestly, Katie, 40 years of back pain went away.
Isn't that weird? Why do you think that is?
Well, the neurologist that I was working with, she told me, she said that when I hurt my back in high school football, that
Huh.
what ended up happening is I ended up with all this scar tissue, and
Ah.
it never got fixed back then. So then when I fell, what ends up happening is you get all these chondrocytes and osteoblasts and chondroblasts, and what they are is they're like macrophage type cells that go in there and eat up the scar tissue. And when I broke my back, it triggered my body to realize that I had a new injury, and
Right.
it went and cleaned up all that scar tissue at the same time.
Wow, that is absolutely fascinating. You know what? That just reminds me of, like, I was watching a show on travel and the environment and how they do back burning. You know, it's like they purposely burn the bush, you know, and burn all the trees so that it regenerates new growth. And it's really a critical part of keeping the ecosystem healthy, is to kill off and then let it flourish again. That's exactly what you did, Dr. Kurt, then, you know, with your back. And
Yep.
and then I'm not, you know, another interesting thing a friend said to me the other day, and I'll have to look it up, maybe we can discuss it another time, but, you know, people who go through cancer treatment have had chemotherapy and stuff. A friend alluded to a study that said that there was one study that showed that after chemo, that when the gut flora came back, it came back better with more diversity and stuff like that after treatment. So this is exactly the same type of, you know, scientific principle.
Plus, here's the other thing too, and you know it. When you watch people come back from having cancer, or me
Yeah.
coming back from a near-death situation with my motorcycle accident, you appreciate life more, and
Yeah,
you don't let the little things stress you out as much.
yeah,
Little things, all of a sudden, it's kind of like, you know, because you take a look at all the things that most people get stressed about. You know, it's little things. It's little things,
it is.
and so you learn to appreciate more. So you're asking me, what do I do? You know, really, I've just learned how to relax a little bit more. I've learned how to just, you know, it, if I'm driving to town, I used to get really stressed out when I would go to the clinic. I'd be driving to the clinic. I knew it took me 8 minutes to drive from my house to the clinic. I had time, and I'd take the same path to work every day. It took me 8 minutes. If it took me 9 minutes, oh my God, I was stressed out.
Oh, all right.
And now I get behind a slow driver and I just kick back. And it's like, yeah, I relax. I learned how to relax, Katie. And doing all of these things, you know, I've learned how to eat better. I
Mm,
pay attention to what I'm eating. That's an
mm,
important factor.
mm.
I try and get enough sleep. I try and get my 8 hours of sleep a night, you know, and you just, those are the things, you just appreciate it more. You know, when I go for a walk now, they say one of the most important things that you do when you go for a walk is, most people walk and they kind of look down like
Oh,
this.
yeah, yeah,
They're looking down like that.
yeah.
And that, those kinds of walks don't help with stress as much as if you look at you have your eyes focused over the
Mhm.
horizon. So you're looking out over the horizon as you're walking. And what that does, of course, you got to look down, make sure you're not going to fall in a pothole full of
Right.
water and mud and things like that, because that would stress you out, get your new shoes all dirty. But, you know, but you look out over the horizon, and they say that that's actually a better way to go walk. And you don't have to go running. I can't run. You know, you just go for a nice walk, and it's amazing what that'll do. And get some exercise, get that blood flowing, Katie, and work out to the point, you know, to where you're feeling it. You can
Yeah.
feel it on your body, because a little bit of stress is good. You know, everything in moderation, even moderation, is what a friend of mine taught me.
100%. It's interesting what you said about the walking, because that's one thing I'd say the biggest thing that I've done that's a real change is changing the way I've been walking. Exactly like what you said. When I go for a walk, and I do about 3 short walks. I'm doing a short walk after each meal now, just to help the food digest, helps with the blood sugar levels, helps with relaxation. I'm really fortunate because I'm just down the road from a fauna and flora reserve. Tongue
There
twister
you
there.
go.
Yeah, and there's this parkland just down there. when I walk, I'm paying attention. I'm looking at the shapes that the clouds are making in the sky. I'm looking at the blue in the sky. I'm looking at the treetops. I'm looking at the flowers. I'll stop and smell some flowers, literally stop and smell some flowers along the way and see what fragrance they have. You know, I'll walk into the park. I'll be looking for dragonflies and butterflies. You know, I'm doing a lot of having a lot of prayer and spiritual talk as well. And when I'm doing that, I seem to be engaged with a lot of butterflies and dragonflies, and it's really incredible. And I'm paying attention to the flowers, to the leaves. I'm looking at the bark on the trees. I'm looking at the colors in there. I mean, I'm looking at every fine little detail along the way. So when I get home, I feel like, you know, it's a completely different experience. It's like you've experienced a whole nother world through this walk, as opposed to just, going looking at the ground and just walking. It's completely different. And
It
so,
really is.
and so that's kind of my top tip at the moment that I'm really enjoying. And, you know, we've just moved past spring and now we are in summer. So it's good here. But, you know, I imagine it could still be very nice where you are, even though you're coming into winter, assuming it's not too cold, to enjoy the snow and the things out there, because you're out in the country too, with a lot of bushland or farmland.
Yep.
You know, and so I'm sure there's lots of nice walks and stuff there too.
Yeah, even yesterday when me and the dogs went for a walk, I mean, we just got 30 inches of snow. Everything is white, but we went walking down the path. You know, they've got the snow plowed so you can walk. And the dogs, you'd enjoy walking with Chewy, my old dog, 'cause he's smelling everything. He's he's 105 in human years now, and he's got to smell everything. Everything's got an interesting smell. So
Yeah. Fantastic.
I
All right.
think-
Well, so we want to talk about, we've talked about all these stress. In terms of nutrition, Kurt, what is the most important things people can be doing for nutrition? I'll bring up a couple of slides here.
Yeah. Well, I think, I was, really kind of thinking about it this afternoon. What's the most important thing? And of course, here you bring up this slide, which is really good, the triangle of life. If you're trying to make your body so that it's resilient, right? Then what you have to do is you have to make sure that you get all the antioxidants. You have to get all the nutrition to keep all parts of your body healthy. SpectrumAct, it's got 74 trace minerals. You take a look at what Linus Pauling said. He said that if you have a chronic health problem, chances are you're missing some of the key minerals in your body. And there's a lot of studies that show that the average person is missing more than 5 of these trace minerals that the body needs. And then on top of it, 40 antioxidants. And what stress does is stress damages the chromosomes of the mitochondria. The mitochondria is the most affected by stress. And what is the mitochondria? The mitochondria is the nuclear power plant of your cells. So that's why most people start to experience fatigue and lack of energy when they get stressed out. And so the triangle of life is really, really important like that. And then Fucoidan, of course, gets rid of inflammation. And Eternity works with the sirtuin genes, which repair the damaged DNA. And like we were talking about, damaged DNA from stress. You don't think of stress damaging your DNA. It sure does. And then we move on to the age pill.
Yeah.
Age pill is so important. I remember when the age pill first came out, I remember calling Tom Sr. up one day and I said, what I've noticed since I started taking the age pill is that when I go for walks with Chewy, when Chewy and I would go for walks out in the park just down the road from me here, I noticed things like you were saying. All of a sudden, the butterflies had more colors. I could see the colors. They were brighter. The green on the trees was brighter. I was able to notice the deer standing back in the woods watching me walk by, and it was brighter. And why is that? And it's because it's boosting the nutrition. It's boosting that NAD levels in your body. But there's one other thing that's in there that a lot of people forget about.
Oh, I love it. It's the L5-hydroxytryptophan that is a precursor for serotonin in the brain. And serotonin is the feel-good neurotransmitter that basically makes us feel happy. And
It's a
some
master
people,
transmitter.
yeah, and some people just don't have enough. They just don't get enough. And this is where this product really comes in and steps in and fills that gap. and boost those levels up. And boy, actually, I've got a testimonial to close off with. It's really fantastic. So, and also I want to announce, so we did the age pill challenge. And so I wanted to announce the winners on this call. Dr. Kurt was giving away an extra bottle, and so was I. So Dr. Kurt gave an additional bottle to Mike, who you've had on the call on the show a few times. And I know a lot of people used his testimonial, who has been managing his condition of MS and has just had tremendous results with that product. And if you haven't seen his testimonial, I really invite you to go check it out. You'll find it on YouTube, or, you know, text or message Dr. Kurt or myself, we can send it to you. So congratulations to Mike for getting that extra bottle. And then the other person I wanted to share who received it, who provided a testimonial, was Steve Brown. And I'm going to be sending his testimonial out to the team coming up here, but I'm just going to share with you what he said, that this is what he said. He'd been double dosing for the age pill for about 2 years, and he knew it helped, but he didn't actually know how critical the age pill was for his well-being. There was a bit of a mix-up, and you know, I think his card didn't go through. He didn't get his order for about 3 weeks, and finally he was having a really bad period of time. You know, his mood, his sleep was terrible, his pain levels increased substantially, and you know, he was off it altogether. And I got in touch with him, sent him a bottle, and he said, should I take the single or double? I said, no, go straight up to the double dose there to get that boost, get that serotonin levels back up. And he just said, and I'm just reading this here as I'm talking too, I was amazed at how much it changed me. And the pain levels dropped and the sleep got a whole lot better. I guess it was a matter of me not knowing how good something was till it was gone. So, you know, oh God, I love this product. You know, the age pill, I wouldn't be without it. I just love feeling good, feeling happy. And that's just one of the many benefits that the age pill provides and helps with stress. Do you want to touch on a couple of the other benefits?
Yeah, I think we'll just leave it at that, because we've covered the age pill so much. You know, tonight, thinking about stress, but think about what Steve just said there. Chronic pain, sleep, energy, three of the 7 major symptoms of stress right there. And if you actually talk to him about it, chances are he would have 2 more. He would add 5 of the 7 major symptoms of stress right there. Yeah,
there you go. Perfect. So that really did make a difference to him. So congratulations to Steve for getting that bottle, and to Mike. And yeah, so that was a really great challenge. And, you know, we'll be doing some more with that product in the new year, because I know that we want to talk a bit more about that in the new year, and how that can help people, because it really is just such a unique product. You cannot find anything at all like it on the market. And believe me, Dr. Kurt knows, and I've researched too. I've gone out there, scoured the market, looked for everything out there, and you will not find a product like this. So yeah, so I guess I won't need to say any more about that. We're on the half hour.
There you go. Yeah, we're just over a half hour. So, you know, everyone, thanks for being with us. And I hope you learned something. And this is something that you can talk about over the holidays. This is, you're not selling a product, because so many people think, oh, you know, Kurt, he's in network marketing, he's going to try and sell me a product, right? And so I'm going to start talking about stress. I'm going to bring up stress. I'm going to say, hey, Katie, you ever feel like you get stressed out? Is the world just a little bit stressed out? And, you know, and I kind of bring a down tone to my voice just a little bit when I'm saying it, and just, you know, get Katie to say, yeah, because she's going to say, yeah, I feel stressed out. And I'm say, you know, do you know what the 3 major causes of stress are? And she's, you know, more than likely going to say no. And, you know, and most people are going to say no. And then you're going to say, well, there's chemical, physical, and emotional stress. And, you know, most people think of emotional stress. And then you kind of describe it just really quickly. Don't get into any scientific stuff. And then you just ask him, you say, you know, what do you suffer from when you feel stressed out? And they're going to tell you, they're going to say, oh, you know, I start having some constipation, or I start having this. I don't sleep well. You know, that used to be my major symptom, Katie, is that when I got stressed out, I didn't sleep. I mean, I remember I remember when I was stressed out, like when I was going through my divorce. I mean, I went for weeks with no sleep. I mean, the only reason I'd sleep is because I got fatigued so much that I just crashed. It wasn't sleep, it was a crash.
Right.
And you start talking to people about it, and all of a sudden they're going to start telling you stories like that. And then you're going to say, well, you know, I just was on a call the other night and I was listening about this guy. His name's Steve. And Steve noticed that he was having lack of energy. He wasn't sleeping well. He was having chronic pain. And he started taking this product, and right away, he got better. Right.
Yeah.
And you notice how now, the way I said that, Katie, doesn't it make you want to go take your H pill right now?
Yeah, well, I am. I'm actually going to go take it. I'm going to take some Triangle of Life, and I'm going to go for a walk and soak in the butterflies and the dragonflies and the birds and enjoy my walk. So
That's right. But that's what people are going to do. They're going to go, where do I get some of that?
yeah, 100%. So maybe you could put a post on in your group about those 7 points, so people have got something to discuss over the Christmas holidays to help their friends and family.
That's right. So you bet. And I put a post on Facebook earlier today, and now I'll answer those questions, because I didn't give everybody the answers. I wanted them to listen, right? Because you know what, you don't tell people the end of the story if you want them to read the book.
Yeah.
You don't tell them how the movie ends
No.
if you want them to watch the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So anyway, you know, Katie, I hope you have a Merry Christmas with your family. Say hey to your mom for me, and have a glass of wine with her for me. I know we tipped a glass of wine when I was down there in the past, and you know, for the rest of you down in Australia and New Zealand, up here in the United States, stay safe, have fun, enjoy it, and don't let the little things stress you out.
Yeah. Have a great holiday, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for being with me.
Bye. Thanks, Kurt. Have a great holiday.
Thanks.